What's up, Zompire Horde? I'm your host, Vlad the Rad. Today, with an upcoming box coming out, anyone that knows me knows that although I'm from Miami, I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland City, Baltimore, if you're not from Baltimore. And in this box this week, we have one of my favorite directors and a Baltimore, what is it, the word I'm looking for? Native is John Waters. And growing up, I was born in the late 70s in 77. And so I grew up after the trilogy of Trash. That was his first, like, kind of step into the main scene, which is Multiple Maniacs, which I don't have anything from. Oh yeah, let me start this off. So Funko actually just came out, I believe it was this year, with a John Waters Funko. It's pretty amazing. This is not signed, so I'll take it out of its hard stack for you. But it's a really cool piece. But let's start off with John Waters Funko. I'm going to show you a bit of my John Waters collection. Um, and like leading up to this week's box that's featuring John Waters in it. So obviously you see he's holding his little flamingo. That's obviously in reference to the movie Pink Flamingos, which was made in 1972, which was starring Divine, who was in most of his early 70s, I believe, until I think Polyester was no. Hairspray was the last movie Divine did with John Waters, and I'd have loved to have seen Crybaby with Divine, because I know Divine would have played Crybaby's grandmother, I believe it was. That would have been cool. But so she played in every one of his movies up until then. Pink Flamingos. So obviously, since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and talk about it. Um, John Waters. So he had the trilogy of Trash, which consisted of Pink Flamingos, um, Multiple Maniacs, which was made in 1970, Pink Flamingos 1972, and then Female Troubles, which came out in 1974. And all of those were starring Divine, who was, if you don't know who Divine is, she was a pretty famous, probably really one of the first famous drag queens, who tried to actually have a movie star lifestyle, but always filmed the movies in his drag or woman character, Divine. One of the other cool pieces I'd like to show you in my collection, because, I mean, if we're starting off with John Waters, we got to start off correct, right? This does have JSA, just so you know. Anyone that keeps up on the COAs. But this is my John Waters autograph. And like I said, it has, where is it at? JSA somewhere. It's in there somewhere. You can't see it. But this is my John Waters. It is in black and white. You're not seeing anything crazy. You can see a signature over here. I love this. This is actually probably one of my top 5 favorite autographs I own. That's how much I love John Waters, obviously. Let me put this guy back. John Waters has done some really, really good stuff. A lot of it you've probably seen, as far as like movies he's made. Some of the more well-known ones, I think probably Serial Mom with Kathleen Turner, which also starred, everyone remembers him from Scream and SLC Punk, but Matthew Lillard. And obviously, John Waters didn't have anything to do with SLC Punk, but I had Matthew Lillard on a SLC Punk piece. And we're bringing up Matthew Lillard, so I thought I would show him off here on my SLC Punk piece. But Matthew Lillard, Kathleen Turner, they did the Serial Mom, which is a great movie. It's really, really funny. Obviously, the title really tells you everything you need to know about the movie. Excuse me. Cecil B. Demented was another great one. Like I said, I think everyone knows Crybaby, right? But also, before I get too far ahead of myself, must owns Pink Flamingos. Again, my camera's not backwards because my hat reads forwards, but you know what I'm saying. Pink Flamingos, there's Divine. Probably seen this picture somewhere before. Really great movie. It's about the filthiest person alive, which is Bab Johnson. And basically another couple are vying for the filthiest person alive title, and to take it from her. Edith Massey's also in this. Mink Stoll. John Waters worked with a very small group of actors that were known as the Dreamlanders, which consisted of Divine, Mink Stole, Cookie Mueller, and Edith Massey, and a few other people. But a lot of his early films, and even, I mean, Ming Stoll's been in almost everything he's done. But a lot of his early films, you'll see like Edith Massey. I think she's right here on the back cover. She's the egg lady. She was also in Polyester. The cool thing about Polyester too, I'm gonna pull it out of here. Here's a couple of John Waters' other films, Pecker, uh, Desperate Living, and things like that. But I always thought this was actually really cool. Another thing about Polyester 2 is it also features Tab Hunter, who was kind of like a teenage heartthrob. And then this is obviously when he's a little bit older, but it comes with this little John Waters Divine Tab Hunter with Odorama. So throughout the movie, they actually play a number, right? So they say number 3, and then you scratch 3, and you smell 3. I think 4 was cheese pizza, if I remember correctly. It's nothing weird. If it was a scratch and sniff for this movie where she eats real dog poop at the end, I'd be a little bit more concerned about the Odorama card. But since it doesn't come with pink flamingos where she eats dog poop, it came in Polyester. I gave it a little, and it's not weird. It's like pizza and new leather and stuff like that. But another really, really good film. Basically, Divine plays a housewife whose husband cheats on her, leaves her, owns a porno shop, whatever. He's making her life a living hell. Well, this very handsome, well-dressed gentleman, Tab Hunter, is seen in her neighborhood, picks her up, blah blah blah. The whole joke is at the end. I don't want to give it away. You should watch Polyester. It's a really really good, really really funny movie. It's a John Waters movie. I don't know what better way to explain his filming and comedy style. But I feel like that would be probably the best way to say it. Is it's a John Waters film. John was born in Baltimore. All of his movies are based and filmed in Baltimore, which it always kind of like makes me like whenever I watch movies, I always like, oh, there's that, there, you know. This movie I'm going to bring up right now is actually extra special to me because the opening scene when they are in the high school gymnasium and they're getting the shot in their arm at the beginning of Crybaby, which has Johnny Depp and Ricky Lake and a whole cast of people. At the beginning of that movie, the I believe it's supposed to be their gymnasium, which was our lunchroom because we moved the tables out. But at the beginning scene, they're all getting the shot. That was my lunchroom in high school. I'm trying to remember what year. I don't think I had it listed. Damn it. Okay, I wish maybe I'll figure it out. But yeah, so Crybaby, the beginning scene where they're getting the shot in the arm, and then also the other scene where they're out in front of the school and they're waiting for Johnny Depp's love interest to walk out, and you know they're all kind of leaning on his car or whatever. That was actually filmed in front of my school where the baseball fields and football field were, another cool thing. I played football at Mervo, where that film was, the beginning of the movie was filmed. So it's that one always like whenever I watch. I love Johnny Depp. I love John Waters, so I'm gonna obviously like that movie. Presumably, but yeah, it's another great one. This is something I got actually recently, which is from Crybaby. Tracy Lords actually plays a character in Crybaby, and she does an amazing job. I don't know if it was much of a stretch acting wise. She's just kind of a rude, foul mouthed, attractive woman, which is Tracy Lords. But it's a really, really good film. Like I said, it reminds me of home a lot. It reminds me of growing up in Baltimore, specifically the scenes where they were filming at my school. So it's something that's always just kind of like harkened back to me, which is why I really wanted to do a John Waters piece in one of our boxes because it's very personal to me, and I wanted, you know, I like to put things in the box that mean something and to me and hopefully stuff that you guys like. So, one other thing I would like to say too is John Waters isn't just a writer and director. He's actually been in a few things for the newer kids out there, because I realize a lot of this stuff that I've shown was from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And so some of you youngsters may not relate to a lot of it if you haven't gone down the John Waters rabbit hole. But here's one you've probably seen. Seed of Chucky. He does have a cameo in this movie. He has a cameo in a lot of stuff. He's on a bunch of TV shows and things. But as far as like, I know a lot of our customers and the people that follow Zompire, we kind of are really based around horror. That was our big deal. When we're doing John Waters in this box, we're doing it in the pop culture box because although he was in a horror movie, he's not like a horror guy. So that's why we went with the pop culture box. But if you haven't seen Seed of Chucky, you should see it because John Waters is in it. You'll notice John Waters because of his pencil mustache he's had since 1970 or 1947, whenever. But yeah, I'm really excited about the piece we have for the box. I think anyone that's a John Waters fan is going to be happy for sure. Um, Again, if you haven't seen Serial Mom, Pecker was another good one that had the kid from American History X. Played John Connor in Terminator 2. Edward Furlong plays Pecker, and that one I also like a lot too because he's like an artist, a photographer, and his sister works in like a strip club or whatever, and it's pretty comical. Um, Again, a lot of John Waters stuff is very kind of funny, but it also has a like harkens to this like the weirdness about John Waters. Um, it's always over the top, dick and fart jokes, but in a very smart way that it doesn't come off that way. He's got a very interesting way of making movies and making people laugh, and something I've always enjoyed. I can't think of anything that he's put out that I just didn't like or hated. Um, the last one he did was called A Low Down Dirty Shame, which had Johnny Knoxville in it. The funny thing about that movie is there's a scene where I believe they're driving down Hartford Road, just south of Northern Parkway in Baltimore City, and they passed a car dealership that the first time I ever got in trouble with the law, I think I was like 14 at the time. Me and a local, I lived right like literally around the corner from that car dealership, and me and another buddy were breaking into cars and got caught. And that was the first time I'd ever been like arrested and brought home to my parents. Um, but they literally drive right past that place in A Low Down Dirty Shame with Johnny Knoxville. And I can't remember the other girl. Tracy Ullman's in it. That's who it is. Um, but yeah, another funny ass movie to check out. And you can see where I first got arrested ever in my life. It's such a weird thing to say. Go watch a movie so you can see where I got locked up for the first time ever. But do it because it is a funny ass movie. So this week we have that box coming out again. John Waters, he's going to be in the box. We're going to have a couple other things in the box. There's ads up. I'm not going to promote anything else because I want to talk about John Waters in this video. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you a fan of John Waters films? Are you more of a fan of him as an actor, as a writer-director? Do you have the John Waters pop? They're not going for a ton, but they're fun to have. I was stoked they did a John Waters pop. I assumed if they ever did, you probably got to do the flamingo, right? Like that's what he's. I don't feel like that's what he's most known for, but it's most iconic kind of image or whatever. You know what I mean? So this Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Baltimore time, and 9 p.m. Pacific, Seattle time. We're going to drop the Pulse box. John Waters. Something from him is in there. What it is, I couldn't tell you. All I can tell you is you don't want to miss out. All right? Thank you guys for tuning in. Vlad the Rad and John Waters.